It's going down. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakha Kodash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And welcome to another series of It's Going Down, being brought to you by the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Global food import bill soars to alarming level as poor countries on brink of crisis. Now, yesterday I brought out a much similar article to this from RT.com, I believe it was SputnikNews.com. Okay, but this is basically an update to that. Now, as I said before, that these soaring price increases to the global food import ships could cause a famine. And the reason why I say that is because if these countries don't have enough money to finance these the importation of these different foods from one country to another, then what's going to happen? The ships carrying all these foods, these grains, commodities, fruits, vegetables, this, that, fourth, and the other, they're going to come to a standstill. So countries that would normally receive food from a particular country will not receive food because the country cannot afford to finance the import of those goods from point A to point B. So this would indeed lead to a famine. And a country can only produce so much of its own food before it runs out. And let me remind you that a lot of the food in these countries have been industrialized. So, you're not going to find too many farmers growing their own crops, this, that, fourth, and the other. And in some countries, it's against the law to grow your own crops. Here in America, if you're caught trying to grow your own crops, you get fined for it. And for a lot of money. They want you to go to their grocery stores and buy food. So, hey, this famine is getting ready to come, man. And these food trucks, where do you think these food trucks get their food from? Either these different food factories, which are being burned down by these agents that the so-called elites through the Illuminati, by these different governments around these countries, are hiring to burn down these food factories, these agents. Okay, you got all these food factories that are being burned down, that are responsible for processing your chips, packaging your meats, packaging your produce, your fruits, your vegetables. You see? But your food also comes, a lot of the food that people eat comes from overseas. You might look at particular foods and you might read the label on it, and it says imported from this country or such and such. So a shocking new report via the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO, revealed the world food import bill jumped to nearly $2 trillion in 2022 amid soaring, which the word soar or soaring means rapidly increasing. So amid soaring or rapidly increasing inflation due to several factors, including currencies depreciating against the dollar, the war in Ukraine, which the war in Ukraine ain't got nothing to do with that, man. That's all smoke and mirrors, right? And ultimately, this famine is systematically being induced by the so-called elites through the Illuminati, by these different governments in these different countries. So I'm going to continue reading. And La Nina related climate change. Yeah, because the Lord has been causing droughts. And crops and vegetables cannot grow if there's a drought. Okay? Certain beans like cocoa beans, they have to be in a particular type of temperature in order to actually sprout. Same thing with beans and rice. They got to be under a particular temperature in order for the plants to produce them. So the Lord's been causing a drought. And a drought comes from a lack of rain. Who causes the lack of rain? Jeremiah the 5th chapter. Okay, let's just get it real quick for edification's sake. The Lord is the one who causes droughts. Jeremiah chapter 5 verse 22. I don't know if it's that. Okay. Okay. So I'll start up here. You know, this is beautiful, right? Jeremiah 5 verse 22. Fear ye not me, save the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Will ye not tremble at my presence, which I have placed a sand for the bound of the sea by a perpetual decree, that it cannot pass it? And though the waves thereof toss themselves, yet can they not prevail. Though they roar, yet can they not pass over it. Right? So the reason why the waters have not overflooded the earth is because the Lord is the one keep holding the oceans back, making sure they don't pass beyond a certain threshold. But of course, if the Lord wanted a city to be flooded, He will allow that water to pass the usual threshold. Okay, now check this out. But this people have a revolting and a rebellious heart. They are revolted and gone. It's talking about our people, the Israelites, which are the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Indians. Neither say they in their heart, let us now fear the Lord our God, our power, that giveth rain. Whoa, wait, what? The Lord giveth rain? Yeah, the Lord giveth rain. Neither say they in their heart, let us now fear the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, our power, that giveth rain, both the former and the latter in his season. He reserveth unto us the appointed weeks of the harvest. Right? And the only way you're going to get a harvest of crops and grains and this, that, forth, and the other, and wheat and cacao beans, coffee beans. The only way you're going to get a harvest of those is if those plants is getting a healthy enough of rain. But if the Lord holds back the rain, guess what? Your rivers are not going to refill. Your lakes are going to dry out. Your rivers are going to dry out. And ultimately, there's going to be a drought. Your plants are going to start to die because everything needs water in order to flourish and grow. Even people, even animals, even insects, even birds, even the marine life. Everything needs water in order to flourish and grow. So if plants are not receiving water, it don't matter how much sunlight they get. They're not going to grow. So now, going back, so the Lord is the one who causes droughts. Okay. It says, Food and Agricultural Organization's Food Outlook expects the tap for imports of wheat, rice, maize, vegetable oils, and other farm goods will jump to an all-time high and about 10% increase over the record level of 2021. Although the agency expects demand destruction in response to elevated food prices and depreciating currencies against the U.S. dollar. Food import bills are skyrocketing for developing countries, and most already in insurmountable debt. Many of these countries are quickly burning through dollar stockpiles at the fastest pace in 2 decades to defend their currencies against a rallying dollar. And I believe this is all systematically being done by the so-called elites. Recommended videos. There's no need to show this. So I'm just going to close you out. Now let's get some scriptures. 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, verse 5. Okay. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world. What plagues? What is a plague? First and foremost, a plague is a contagious disease, but a plague is also a evil event that causes distress and anguish. So let's see what some of these plagues are. Well, what some of these distresses and anguish that causes discomfort is. Let's see what some of these plagues are. The sword, the modern day sword is the gun, but the ultimate sword is the nuclear warheads, which is carried by intercontinental ballistic missiles, which travel from one continent to another, which is why it's called intercontinental ballistic missiles. So the sword, famine, there you go, death and destruction. Okay, and how come the Lord is going to bring sword, famine, death, and destruction upon the world? For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth. Why? How has wickedness exceedingly polluted the whole earth? Who's in rulership? Presuming to the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Okay, he covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So what does it mean by the earth is given into the hands of the wicked? That means the wicked has control over the whole earth. Who has control over the whole earth today? The so-called elites, starting with the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. They are the wicked that have control over the whole earth. And ultimately, the wicked is all of you Edomites. Rather, if you're calling yourself a so-called white Russian, a white European, a white Russian, a white Australian, a white American, okay? According to the Holy Scriptures, you're Edomites. And you're known as the wicked in the Holy Scriptures. And that's starting with the so-called elites, trickling down to the rest of their nation, the people. And their hurtful works are fulfilled. And like it tells you in the book of First Maccabees, that when Alexander's 4 generals, Cassander, Lysimachus, Ptolemy, and Seleucid, when they put crowns on their heads and started to set up rule, when they gained rule in certain areas, in certain areas of the earth, the scriptures tell you that wickedness multiplied in the earth. Now let's go to Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. Matthew 24 and 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. And what are we seeing here? Famines in diverse places. And soaring price costs for the importation of food and goods from one country to another will cause a famine. Because that means that the country is not normally receiving their food that they should receive. So that will lead to a food shortage. Luke chapter 21, verse 9. It says, hold on, I meant 21 verse 11. Let's go to Luke 21 verse 11. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines, and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. So Yahushua said it again right here. Famines, and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. So there's going to be a global famine is coming. Why? because the devil has come down with great wrath. The devil is come down having great wrath because he knoweth that he have but a short time. With that, I'm going to say shalom is on to the next one.